Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2021. It's week 45 and in the background you can see we are in the Ford Focus ST at Tsukuba. And let's have a look at the race details first of all, because it's quite a small circuit. Racing is hard to do. We're racing 6 laps here at Tsukuba. It's a grid start. You will need traction control. We are on the sports medium tyres. As I say, this is going to be very difficult to do in terms of racing because the track is so tight. But you will see some good racing in this one, in this video. And I will provide a guide as well, as always. We're in the yellow car, of course, because yellow is the channel's colour, really. Let's jump to the race then, and let's have a look exactly what happened. Here we are then at the start. Flash away! Obviously, we always say this, and you can see the 12-car grid right there. Now, if I sound a little bit different, I am in the conservatory now, so if I'm a bit echoey, do let me know, and I'll try and look into solving that. Brake balance, -1 in the Ford Focus ST here, and of course, traction control on 1 to set off here. Now, as we begin, we're going to have a car who doesn't start there, so we have to dive out the way there. We managed to do that absolutely fine. You've got to be aware of that at the start. Very tight to make it, and we did anyway. So heading towards turn 1, it's going to get very tight very quickly. Look at everybody jump into that inside line, which is the safe line. I always say that. Go on the inside to be safe. Try around the outside, and it doesn't really work, if I'm honest with you. We end up in the exact same place where we started, really, minus the individual who just stopped on the line. Who's in fact going backwards right now on the circuit, if you look at the mini-map. But you see lots of action up ahead, lots of contact there, a little bit of contact here, there, and everywhere. But I think everyone's surviving, really. There's nothing really dirty about it. It's just tight circuits, as we were talking about at the start of the race. Just through the right-hander we go then. A couple people off there. A little bit of a jump there for the German in 8th place. As we're now trying to look for a move, and the Swiss driver goes for the right-hand side. A little bit of contact there as we're on the left, but it's nothing that really. Going to go around the outside here. A little bit of contact on exit between these two. Now, these two are going to have a bit of a battle here. Now, we're on the inside of the German, Tau PS, so let's see what we can do heading towards the long right-hander. Obviously, I'm not in the slipstream at the moment, so I was a bit worried about this. But I thought I'd keep my car there just in case we can scare them into it. And yeah, fortunately, down the inside, leave enough space on the exit there. Stay in 4th gear. And through we go into that P10 position then as we cross the line. And now we're going to head up towards the inside of the Swiss driver in towards turn 1. They try and cut it off, but we were sort of already there. Went for it. We do stop it on the apex there. They tried to turn in, but no, we're having that one up into P9 then. The reverse curse. You can see it behind there, side by side. Now watch this, under braking. I thought this might happen, and unfortunately just get slightly tapped there. I don't think it was intentional. I think they just misjudged the braking because they give us space in the exit, which is a big thank you from me. But these two are going to go at it behind. If you keep looking at that rear view, look at them both go off now, off onto the grass. And because they've got dirt on their tyres, they're going to understeer to the other side as well and into the barrier. Look at that. But Badger's up ahead. If you focus on our race now, just brakes kind of early on the inside there. I think Badger's actually made a mistake there. As we leave the corner, we're still stuck behind Badger's here, and we don't really gain an advantage from that either. So we fast forward a little bit. I'm going to try around the outside here. This is very sketchy to do indeed. But I know Badger's race clean, so it's nice to have a race like this. Through the right-hander we go then, and look at this side-by-side action. And this is what you call clean racing. This is like driving of the day, as we're going to say. Driver of the day. In fact, driver of the video, Banana Badgers. Here we go. Look at this side-by-side action throughout. We go off ourselves here, but Badger still leaves us room there. So Badger did that in 2nd gear. We did it in 3rd. I'll talk about gears in a little bit. In towards the left-hander we go. I'm going to keep it tight again through the left-hander. Look at this. It's still side-by-side. Brilliant racing this. I did enjoy this one as we head up to here. This isn't 2x2 this corner, so I did back out of it at this point. Badger's had the inside. So Badger's keeps it for now. Right, we advance a bit further on them. And let's see what we can do. So Badger's goes a little bit deep at the hairpin here. So we're going to have a bit of a run out of the corner. At this point, I'm going to go for the cutback, basically. I knew I could go for it here. And Badgers goes a little bit deep, so we're going to be on the outside here. But Badgers doesn't panic there with Eurogamer flying from the cone. Keeps the line, and some beautiful racing here in towards the hairpin. Then we do get it stopped. We're trying to cover the apex here. Badgers goes for the cutback. Just unfortunately jumps off the curb a little bit into me, but it wasn't really Badgers trying to be dirty there or anything. But definitely driver of the video Badgers. Some superb racing there. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go to a lap guide because that's why you're really here. And heading towards turn 1, look for that 50-meter board right there on the left-hand side. That's what you're going to use as a brake marker. Now, you only use 3rd gear here. A lot of people were using 2nd. Now, I use 3rd because it means you don't get any wheel spin or understeer on exit. You can just put your foot to the floor and get round it. And then you don't have the delay of the gear change as well. So I do recommend using 3rd gear here. Now, as you head towards this next turn, we're actually going to brake a little bit later than normal. We're carrying a lot more grip on this tyre. So you're actually trying to get as close to the end of that curve as possible. Now you can see I started braking here, and I do make the corner here. You can go a little bit closer to it, to be honest with you. It depends on your line. So you do have to be careful there. Through there we go then. You can do second gear. Wheels don't really spin there. Now, as you get to here, you want to lift off and turn in at that point there as the yellow barrier ends on the left-hand side. So you can lift off, just turn in. It's 64 miles an hour is your goal here. Don't try and drop under. We dropped just under there, but you can do it at 64. You can use the grass on the left-hand side. Don't straighten up, then turn again. You'll get understeer. And as you head towards this right-hander, you want to use the lamppost on the right-hand side. Yes, there's a 50-meter board on the left-hand side, but that will go off your screen quicker than the lamppost. And it is a right-hander, so you should be looking at that apex anyway. So we drop in here. And again, second gear. Keep it tight. The minute you're round, put your foot to the floor. Get out of there. And yeah, let's continue on towards the fast right-hander then. So obviously, we're going to stay in P7, basically, at this point. We are just aiming for the fastest lap here now. So as you head towards this right-hander, we're going to use our normal brake marker here, which is the dead grass on the left-hand side. As you hit that, you're going to let off and just trail brake into the corner. This is where you want to try and maintain the speed as best you can as you go into the corner. There we go, trail braking. I'm not going above 50% really, just dabbing the brake a little bit. I go a little bit too slow there, down to 72 miles an hour. 74, 75 is where you want to stay if you can, as you perfect that lap over the week. But that's it for race A. Very hard to race on, if I'm honest. Good time trial circuit, but to race, a bit difficult if I'm honest. So yeah, up to you whether you do race A. Let's head to race B then, where the racing is a little bit more ferocious. Welcome to Maggiore West then for race B, and as you can see in the background, we are in Group 4 machinery, and it is, unfortunately, an FF fest, but I suppose we don't have them too often now, so it can be forgiven this one time. Let's have a look at the race details then. We're racing 5 laps here at Maggiore West. It's a rolling start, but nothing to really worry about with that rolling start. I mean, on the racing medium tyre, which is why it's probably an FF fest, if we're honest. If it was on the racing hard tyre, I imagine they wouldn't be that good, but we're on the mediums. That's where we are. Now, as you can see in the background, I chose the Volkswagen Scirroco Group 4 car. It's my favourite now of the 4 cars, really. It sort of handles the best out of all of them and has the best overall speed, I would guess, due to average it all up. So that's why I've chosen that one. Big thanks to Psycho Killer 69 from Driver's Room for the livery. I particularly chose this livery, by the way, today because Miata Mania is on it, and we did Miata Mania here, and my word, was it good fun. So here we are with Group 4s at the same track, so all good. Thank you so much for that livery. Of course, that's from Driver's Room, so do check them out. I'm going to stop yapping now. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look at, there's a Muppet in this one, and some good driving as well, and some interesting racing, to say the least. Here we are then at the start. As you can see, we've got some flashy Volkswagen boys, and then we've got a mixture of all sorts of FF cars there. TT, Scirocco, RCZ, Megane, and then we have a Ferrari, not a Ferrari, a BMW. I say Ferrari because Conning Fluffy was in a Ferrari in the first race, and we all got disconnected. So here we are with race 2. As you see, we're starting P15 then. This took a while to load as well, so yeah, I'm happy we actually got in here. I was thinking this weekend, or this week's races was going to be a bit of a rush, but here we go then. So you can see, not a problem at the start really, it's just on the hill, happy days. And we're going to go straight to the lap guide as well. So heading towards turn 1, on the left hand side, you'll notice the blue van. That's what we're aiming for. Now actually, you want to brake just after that disappears off the screen. Normally we're braking at it. This time we're braking just after it. So there we go, just after there. I'm going to drop to third gear. We want to get on the inside there. And then for this right-hander, a nice little bunny hop there from the RCZ. At the end of that white marking on the right-hand side, that's what you're using for turn 2. So you're going to get it brake in there, second gear. Now you will get wheel spin on the exits. Be careful of that understeer as you accelerate away. This is all about lifting, and you lift a little bit more, and then when you're happy, you just put your foot down. I'm in 4th gear there to reduce any understeer from the wheel spinning up, basically, if it was in a lower gear. So 4th gear is your best mate there. So through this right-hander, it's all flat out. And we're actually going to get a run on the RCZ. I'm surprised how slow the RCZ actually is now. So we are going to look down the inside. We're going to look in the distance. Look at the BMW, because basically at the end of the green wall there, the BMW's just started braking as well. So you can see it's definitely the brake marker. That's when you're going to brake in these cars. You're going to drop down to 3rd gear, I think it is. And there we go. And you do want to get on the inside as best you can. Use that camber to your advantage and we get a good run off that corner. So we're going to head up the hill. We're going to have a bit of good side-by-side action here with the RCZ driver. Through the left, which is flat out. And this right-hander is normally flat out. I lifted a little bit to make sure that the RCZ has enough space in the exit, which they do. And as we head towards this right-hander, on the right-hand side, there's a gap in between the trees. I know some of you hate that, but that's the one I use because it's obvious and no one's wiping out a tree. So that is what I use there, and we're going to drop to 4th gear. We want to get on the inside there, try and balance the car with the throttle, go through this first part, and then as the end of the curb ends, of course it does, as the curb ends, you should be turning in at this point and letting off the throttle, letting the car roll a little bit. I do brake a little bit there because I was just tapped slightly from behind, nothing major, and through we go. Now, sometimes you will have to brake, as I say, sometimes you won't, but you just turn in consistently there. The last corner, that bullet sound, it's not billet, it's a bullet. The end of the bullet sign is your brake marker, and you normally drop to 4th gear here. You try and use a lot of the curb on the inside there, as we do, and then just accelerate through. You see the BMW ran slightly wide then onto the grass. So we're going to look for the move down in towards turn 1, then down the inside of the BMW. As you see, just being left for dead from the FF cars. Are we going to do it? Now, they try and hang it around the outside, which is beautifully done, which you can do in the BMW. Another bunny hop there. They're so funny though, aren't they? The physics of it, my word. I'm not sure if the BMW driver was tapped there or not. I didn't actually check the radar. I really should have. But they managed to hold it, and everyone continues racing all the same. But this is where you're going to see the difference between the FF and the non-FF cars now. Because as we come onto this straight, you see the BMW is already losing out here. Goes defensive. We're not in any slipstream here. And we are just going to fly past that BM. Look at that. It's just like a different competition. Now, we are in a bit of slipstream. I apologise. Only a tiny bit there, though. But even so, you can see the difference. It's just night and day difference. It's just pointless, really. So it is an FF race, unfortunately, for those that hate the FFs. Right, let's advance a bit further on then. You see there's a penalty up ahead. That's the cut in a corner, of course. You see the Peugeot up ahead just ran a little bit deep there. Lost a lot of speed. So we're going to go down the inside, then head towards turn 1. Start lap number 3. I'm going to get that done. Oh, look, fastest lap. Happy days. In we go then. And there we go. Position gained. P12. And a lot of cars up ahead. So a lot of penalties as well. So we could gain a few positions here. We could. We have not seen the Muppet yet. We will get to that Muppet shortly. So through the right-hander. And we wanted a good run here. And now we saw how well we gained on the RCZ. I'm still surprised by this. The RCZ really is in a horrible place at the moment. So we're catching, even though the RCZ has the slipstream up ahead, we are catching. So I'm thinking, okay, let's go for the move. And I know that Spaniard's going to go right here. So I go left quickly, try and get around the outside. So a reverse Moses maneuver there. We sort of get it done. Trying to go around the outside here. And it's going to be a slight tap from the understeer. And then the gravel sort of pushes us back on. But we do gain that position here. As you can see, 3 wide into this left. It's always going to be my corner that on the inside. Happy days. P10 it is. And not sure what was happening behind. There's a little bit of a clash in there. But we catch up to Jacko now. So Jacko on the outside here for the last corner. I didn't really want to go for this, and I did. And now you're going to see why. I'm definitely in 2 minds. And just gets a much better run through the corner there. So let's advance a bit further on then, because it's just a line of stern moment there. So through the right-hander and the left. And I sort of set it up to get on the inside for Banky Boy. Now, because I know the RCZ's going slow, really, down the straights, I know this would work. In the past, this wouldn't have worked. The RCZ is a quicker car, or used to be. So, yeah, down the inside, happy days. Let's brake at the green wall there. Get it stopped. Use all the camber on the inside. Happy days. We can accelerate through as normal. The reverse curse position is ours. Well, I'll say that. We catch up to Kingo, who's had a bit of a issue earlier on in the lap. So we're looking around the outside. Not going to quite work. There's carnage happening up ahead. No idea what's going on there. So Flamenco, this driver here, decides he wants to punt Kingo for reasons of his own side. Puts him on the grass there. So unfortunately, Kingo comes on. Unfortunately, hits me. I basically got nowhere to go. I can't even stop the car. I'm literally letting off, trying to get the car under control. Fortunately, we come on. Kingo survives there. And Jacko gets a few positions. And then this is the moron. Just comes down the inside. Absolutely plows into me for no reason whatsoever. So moron of the day there. Flamenco R6. So if you see him, yeah. Just expect the worst, basically. You ain't going to get a clean race from that driver, for sure, after some of the incidents we saw with Kingo as well, where he just pushes him off for reasons I don't know what. So, yeah, we just lose out there. Unfortunately, fortunately for us, the RCZ goes a little bit deep there, carries too much speed. And we're actually going to get back up into that P11 position, so, you know, we're not last. But, yeah, some horrendous driving there from that Spaniard. But that's it for race B. You can have some good racing here. As I say, it's an FFS, so just be careful. Let's head then to race C. Welcome to Autopolis then for race C. Obviously, it's not one of my favourites at all. As you can see, we're in Group 2 as well, which does mean dirty air has a big impact here. But before we look at all of that, let's have a look at the race details then. We're racing 12 laps here at Autopolis. It's a rolling start, and it's a very tricky rolling start, so just be careful. Racing soft and medium tyres, both are required. Fuel usage times 2, tyre wear times 5. So the tyre wear is not huge in the grand scheme of it, so some interesting strategies can happen, and you will see one of those in this race. And that is it in terms of the race details. As you can see, I picked the OP, or the meta car in Group 2, which is the GTR, of course. A few people picked the NSX, because that tyre wear is reduced. It is a possibility. However, I think the GTR still is the best car for the race. It's the best on its tyres, therefore you can get a few more laps on the softer compound of tyre. Big thank you to DTS_Vicious Venom for the livery. It's a beautiful livery. We went for something slightly different this time, and thank you to everyone who did submit a livery. But we went with this one because it reminds me of a classic Gran Turismo livery. It really, really does. So thank you so much for that. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happened. And there's a lot of plebby moments in this one, and some glorious ones as well. Here we are then at the start. As you see, an NSX, and then we have a GTR, an NSX, a Lexus. So we've got a mixture of all sorts in there. The modern cars are the supreme choice here. I've been changing my microphone settings throughout, so do let me know which one of these clips has the best one with race A, B, or C. As you saw, +2 brake balance, so that is what you're going to pick for the GTR. Basically, you're just saving your front tyres as much as you can on the softer compound of tyre. You probably can reduce it a little bit, your brake balance, on the medium. As you see, I put traction control on one as well. You see the NSX there of Jay and Axa just getting all sorts of sideways. It slows down, got max power, and we're going to have a run on both of them here then. We're going to go for the Moses maneuver at start, finish straight on lap 1. Look at this. So down the middle we go. Got max power, obviously a bit more confident here. We haven't been able to warm our tyres, and we just overshoot it a little bit. So I really make sure I avoid running max power off there. Unfortunately, that's the case. Max power retakes that position, and we're going to catch up to the Spaniard up ahead here. So down the right-hand side we go, looking to get it done here on the inside. They give us lots of space there. Fair play to them, and we give them lots of space as well. But we do get our position. That's up to P16 already. So through the left-hander, we're going to go here. And let's have a look in the distance then, because the Italian's going to get it all sorts of wrong and try and correct it, and goes off to the realm there. So up to P15, well, say P15. They come around here. We're up to P14 now, as somebody else has gone off to Narnia as well. Lots of plebby moments. I did say that right at the start here, as we continue then here behind max power. So we kept catching up to people. Max power going for the inside line here. I thought potentially there might be an incident, but no, max power breaks early enough, and I really should have followed max power through here. I don't. So max power's going to get that position, and I do not. So I'm sticking in P14 for now. Although let's see what we can do against the French driver here. Not quite going to have the run there. Although they go a little bit deep. So can we do anything with this? Not quite through the left-hander. Oh, they go a bit deep again. Going to get on the inside here for the hairpin. And it's going to be side by side through here. Brilliant racing with the French driver as well. Pixie, shout out to you. Some good racing this week. I have had some really good racing. It's just that one moron in race B that we had. But we get that position up to P13 then. I'm going to head up to the hairpin once again. In fact, we're going to advance further on. So you see we catch up to the next pack here. There's a little bit of contact here between the NSX and the GTR. And the NSX backs out of it. That gets us P12. We're right behind this GTR here of Mickey. Oh, trying to get down the inside. Not going to quite work there in the anime machine. You anime fans will be happy there. So through there we go. And lap 2. At this moment, I'm thinking, I'm losing a lot of time here in this battle, and I really should pit, but I wasn't 100% sure with the tyre wear, but we'll see what happens shortly as we look on the inside of Mickey here. Mickey outbrakes themselves, just a bit scared about me, I assume, on the inside. They hit max power. They do give max power the position back. Oh, somebody else off there, up into P10 already. But they gave max power the position back, so, you know, we all make mistakes. It's all good. We carry on. So through the right-hander, at this moment, I was like, okay, if max power pits, I carry on. If max power doesn't pit, I go in. Max power goes to the left, decides against it. I go, right, okay, jump into here, smash into the barrier, and yeah, we survive. Be careful about that pit entry. 17 seconds is the minimum you will lose. That's all the way up to the first corner. And for this first corner, as you come out the pits, use that yellow or goldish car there as your brake marker. Just a nice, easy brake marker to pick out as you head towards turn 1 out of the pits. But yeah, the pit entry, oh my word. You will see, actually. Let's advance a bit further on and let's see some of these. We come through here. There's somebody who's binned it into the pits. Just be careful. It's better to crash into the barrier on the left than the one on the right, which is what I did. And then you make it in nice and easy. There's no damage, so happy days. Max Power did pit a lap later, as you see, and that's how much of a difference it is. Soft versus medium tyres. It really is substantial here. So you do want to try and maximize your soft tire stints as we catch up to the Italian who span earlier on. Don't quite get it done there, so it allows Max Power to gain some time here. I was worried about Max Power coming back at me, but let's see what happens here with the Italian, because we've got this whole section. But unfortunately, or fortunately for me at least, the Italian just goes off slightly. It allows us through, and that means Max Power is now going to get held up by the Italian. Now, dirty air is a big thing here, so I did catch up to that Italian in Sector 1, and it did cost me some time. As you see in the background there, the Italian goes a bit deep there. That's going to cost Max Power some more time, but Max Power does get through. And another yellow flag at the pit entry. Just be careful. As I say, hit the barrier on the left, not the one on the right. We're going to go into a lap guide now. This is my fastest lap of the race. And down towards turn 1, you're going to look for that white van on the right-hand side, but you're going to brake before it hits the end of your screen on the right-hand side. So I'm about to brake now. In fact, I am braking now, just before we get to that white van. Drop to third gear. Now, you can accelerate through quite easily in third gear. If you drop to second, you're going to get wheel spin, which is why I keep it in third gear. Of course, I'm looking after the tyres just a tiny bit as we head towards turn 2, which you're looking for that piece of tarmac there on the left-hand side. Nice, easy marker here. You drop to 2 gears down to third gear, and basically, you're just going to bounce the car through this entire section now. As you see here, we're just slowing the car down a little bit, and then we're just going to roll the car through. Or do a bit of braking there, just carried a bit too much speed. And then the real braking zone here, once again, a white van there on the right side. White van man helping us out massively this week. But basically, as you get to that, you're going to brake and drop to second gear. Now, be careful about the car on exit. It will oversteer. We catch it fairly okay there. Obviously, as the tyre wear goes down, it will get worse. Now, you're going to turn in here right in the middle of that curb. You can use the rear of the white van if you really want to. But generally speaking, you look at that curb, you'll turn in, and then you'll want to go up to 4th gear and keep it in 4th gear. Try and keep it on the inside. Now, normally I use that Marshall box as my acceleration point, but I found that I actually have to wait a little bit longer at the moment in this Group 2 car, so I'll wait for the curb there. You just see it in the distance. As I see that, I'll just put my foot down there, as you see, and we make the corner nice and dandy. We're going to continue on up to the hairpin then. On the right hand side, you got that arrow there. That's what you're going to use. It's just before the 50-meter board. If that gets decimated, good luck. You're looking for about 70 meters, but that's the only thing I could use there, if I'm honest, which is unusual for me, I know, but you've got to pick what you can. So through there we go. Be careful on exit again. You will get wheel spin. Be careful of the grass as well. That will really shut you out. Heading down towards this right-hander, our standard one here, that pole on the right side. Very nice marker. As that hits the edge of your screen, you're going to drop down. I think it's a couple of gears, actually. Sometimes you can do it in 4th gear. Sometimes you can do it in 3rd. It depends. Oh, we do it in 4th gear this time. Through there we go. And as you get to here, you want to drop a gear and just let the engine slow the car down. Don't use the brakes at all as we hit the left-hander and then finally the right-hander here. Now, I dropped to 2nd gear, allowed the engine to brake a little bit. I was dabbing the brakes a little bit, but you're sort of letting the car brake rather than using brakes. It settles the car then. Through the left-hander, I'm just balancing the car with the accelerator. And as we hit the final right here, you brake in, or you're not braking actually, or you can do. It depends how fast you take this. You can let off and just roll in time trial. Here, I'm going to brake a little bit, just because I'm carrying a bit too much speed. I'm just letting the car roll, and then as I see that tarmac there, as I get to it, that's when you put your foot down, and you should then make the corner. If you accelerate before that, you're going to understeer off into Narnia and meet Barry R, or Defense, another famous person on this track, apparently. So we're going to continue on there, and there's our fastest lap of the race. Obviously, you can go much faster than that, but it's an alright lap in the grand scheme of it, so I thought I'd show it off. Right, we've advanced a bit further on. I see a yellow flag in the distance. Unfortunately, that driver's gone off. It did put me off a little bit, as you saw with the braking. I knew they would respawn, which is why I was a slight bit scared. But up into P4 now. But we're nearly on a podium here, which I'm very happy about. And as you can see, that earlier stop really has made a difference because literally we've managed to jump a lot of the field. As you see, P3 is off there. They come on, and I really wanted to get past them, but just into here because I didn't want the dirty air. Unfortunately, we did. Now, you've got to be careful, of course. If they're on the medium tyre, they're going to be really slow. And if you're on the soft tyre, they're going to be really quick. So we did catch up to Blue Racer at the end. And so did Fluffy there. But I was stuck behind Fluffy for a couple laps where Dirty Air, I just couldn't get close at all. And it really impacted the front tyres. So yeah, P3, I'm still happy with that. We did pull a gap, bit more of a gap to max power as well. So we really did manage our tyres well there. An interesting race. One, as I say, Dirty Air plays a big factor. So racing is more done in the pits than out on circuit, but you can have the odd overtake here and there. Personally, if I'm to pick a race where you actually race B is the one for you. Otherwise, yeah, race C for the strategy, I would guess. That's going to be it for this week, though. Thank you so much for tuning in. There are 2 videos there if you want to check them out. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. Please do give it a like on the way out. It's free, costs nothing, and helps me out massively. But I hope to see you in another video or live stream very soon.